can we go around just briefly introducing ourselves and say who you're playing?
Hey, I'm Dave March. I'm playing Jesse Biscuit as the male version, as opposed to the female version. I was told I had that option. And my character is a former carny turned thief.
Okay. Justin?
My name is Justin. I picked Dr. Angel Cobard because I'm actually finishing up pharmacy school right now.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I picked the option with a beard.
Okay. Stuart, you've got Cloissoné.
Yep. I'm the driver.
And the
very much appreciated.
Yes.
The long-suffering teenage girl.
Yep.
All right. Jacob, you've got
Yeah.
Cloissoné's mom.
Yes, Karen Conti, who, the Vestamancer, who has the actual magic, unlike any of the rest of you fools.
Hey, I have rituals.
I mean, rituals. Like that's real magic.
This is going to be a very different Karen. I'm here for it. And your name is, let me see if I've got it right. Eilidh?
Yeah.
I was prompted.
Yeah, I'm playing Kim, the female version, and
Okay.
she's a former Marine and current computer expert. I'm actually a software engineer in real life.
Oh, okay. So your technobabble will be looking forward to it. Okay. So the assumptions, first off, the safety piece. I don't anticipate any problems. People have been, coming into this well aware of what they're getting, but I believe the purpose of games is to have fun. And if this stops being the good kind of creepy and becomes the bad kind of creepy, you can just give me one of these in the video or send me a message on the chat and we will roll back and rework. Because, my life's too short to run games that don't make people happy. And yeah, so if you have a problem with anything, you can publicly, tell it to everyone, or you can just direct it to me and I'll sweep it under the rug. That said, yeah, you've presumably, well, there's a little bit of a content warning, but it shouldn't be too bad, except for, of course, the explicit violence that's implied in almost every role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
especially bunnies and burrows.
Oh man, those damn rabbits. They're like animals. Okay, and so we're going to start. The year is 2017. So it's a little bit in the past, but like the recent past. None of you speak French except for Cloissoné. But Quebec is bilingual. What I was told from someone, from a Twitter correspondent who lives there, is that if you are a tourist, the people interacting with you on in a professional capacity will be like, bonjour, hello. And if you answer them in French, and if you answer them in English.
Depends on where you are. I'm from Ontario, so.
Oh, okay.
Back a few times, so. Montreal, we're pretty good. But if we get up into like boondocks areas, it can go downhill pretty quick.
All right. You get like French Canadian hillbillies.
Oh yeah. My one of my best friends, she's from up in the middle of the upper quadrant of Quebec, and yeah, she has some interesting things. It's called like Frontenac, and it's more New Brunswick French. And I've heard people speak it, and she's heard them, and she's like, I have no idea what they're saying.
So like America's South.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Correct me if I get anything wrong about Quebec. But only if it's entertaining and important.
Yeah.
I've never actually been. I just sort of picked Quebec at random because I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be a treat to stick these Americans in a foreign country where they can't speak the preferred language. The museum, La Musée de la Civilisation Américaine, is fictional, but fictionally it is placed on, I got to remember the name of this this area. There's this place in Quebec where there's a big field where some famous historical battle took place, and it seems like it's Quebec's Central Park, big, lovely green space, looks out over the St. Lawrence Seaway. And it's at a cliff that's, I think, 55 meters tall. And at a slope, it looks about like this. So this museum...
It looks like it's literally called Battlefield Park.
That's the one. So Battlefield Park is here over this slope that's covered with trees and gravel and scree. And our museum is perched on the edge of that, looking out. You guys got the map, right?
Yep.
So the terrace looks out over that, as does the parking lot to the right of the building.
Okay. So we're in Montreal. We should be fine.
Oh, no, you're in Quebec.
Yeah, but I know this part of the... we're in Quebec City. Yeah, no,
Yes.
We could be in trouble.
That's like an American saying, "Oh, yeah, we're in Ann Arbor. We're in Detroit."
Yeah. No, Quebec City. It's more like like right-wing, conservative Quebec speakers.
Oh boy, they
Yeah.
sound like a treat. But you're only going to be interacting with museum guards and your fellow weirdos. And so I have a question for Kim. If you opted to smuggle your several violently illegal firearms up north, I'm going to assume you succeeded at that. The question is, did you bring them, or did you think, no, I don't want to find out what Canadian jail's like, and leave them home?
I think I probably brought two of them. I think I probably brought the Glock and the revolver.
Okay, the little ones.
Yeah, or no, actually, probably the rifle and the pistol, because the revolver, it's my granddad's gun. I don't want to lose that in Canadian jail. So I've probably got the other two.
That's extremely fair, and I'm just presuming that you took them apart, hid the pieces inside the casings of your many computers, and drove on up north. Okay, so we're going to start the first scene with you all arriving at the museum, La Musée. How are you going to go about... Oh, well, first off, I'm also going to presume that you picked out an Airbnb fairly close by, probably a mile or two away. Jesse, did you do your little thing with your coins? Yeah.
I've done all my rituals.
Okay, so that's buried in the backyard, and you're clattering when you walk?
No, I guess I wouldn't do that this time.
Okay. Yeah, because you're
We're
going to wear
doing a break-in and I don't want to make any noise.
Well, at this point...
You don't want to be suspicious any more than we are.
Yeah, you're reconnoitering, so you're going to wear comfy shoes for that.
Yeah.
All right. And how are you going to look around this museum and basically case the joint?
I would assume we'd buy tickets.
Okay. Very fair. Are you all just in one touristy clot moving from room to room, or are you breaking up?
I'd probably suggest we break up because it's less memorable.
Yeah.
Even if they remember one of us, they won't associate us with the rest of the group.
All right, you guys going to do what, 2 and 3, 2, 2 and 1?
Well, why don't we who here has any relevant experience with things like security systems?
I do.
Good. Anyone else?
I do.
Jesse? So, I think that means we should do 2 groups, one each with someone who will spot the security systems.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on Jesse.
Okay.
Cloissoné, you want to hang out with your mom, or do you want to hang out with literally anyone other than your mom?
Given the nature of this and the fact that Jesse's with us, I'll stick with Mom.
Okay. So we've got Cloissoné, Karen, and Jesse. All right. So what are you checking out first? You've come in through the entree there, paid your fees, said bonjour. It's not a huge museum. It's just one floor. It's not really big and expansive, and it's not flashy at all. It looks like it was built in like 1989 and has been really preserved kind of in place. They went for sort of a timelessness aspect to it. And so there's not a lot of interactives and computer stuff. It's here are the artifacts. Here is the history. Here's the context. So where are you guys headed?
Why don't we, my group, go to the Mesoamerique, and the other group starts at Dinkium Sil.
Oh yeah, the French speakers are gonna love you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Mesoamerique is Mesoamerican stuff. This is probably the most valuable pieces. They have some gold stuff. And one of their, in pride of place is this horrifying statuette. It's about human-sized and full of holes. And there's just something ineffably horrible about it, especially to you, Karen. You can pick up vibes shooting off of this of pain and terror. And when you get close, this is what they would put the skin on after human sacrifices.
No, this is not good. That's not how skin works.
This is a perversion of the garment compact. And there is a person standing there staring at it. Let me get you. Oh, wait, no, I can't just drag pictures into the chat, but I will get you this photo. Here we go. And you can't really tell if you're looking at a man or a woman. But one thing you notice, Karen, is that their clothes have been very carefully de-identified. Normally you'd have like the Nike logo or an Adidas tag or something. The leather patch on the back of the jeans. No, this person's tracksuit has had all that advertising material removed, and they're standing there with the hood up and arms folded and staring at this thing. And
very disrespectful of clothing, I mean.
Are you gonna mutter that where they can hear you or not?
Sure.
And they turn and, I beg your pardon. And again, you can't quite tell if this is just a woman with a very deep voice who maybe smokes 2 packs a day or a gentleman. But it's an American accent.
I'm terribly sorry. I just couldn't help noticing that you've removed the maker's logos from your clothing.
I feel it's a way to take ownership of the garment. I question how necessary it is to clutter up the things that I wear to keep my skin unexposed to the element with the semiotics of commerce.
Oh, well, my apologies. That's a well thought through opinion, even if I don't share it. To me, it's not about the commerce, it's about respecting the people responsible for it.
But
Well,
eventually,
when it's a corporation,
eventually this will all be dust, like everything.
true but depressing.
It doesn't depress me anymore. I think I've accepted the transitory nature of things, but that's what a lot of meditation will get you. Eventually, you stare at the void, the void stares back, and soon you can't even tell where one ends and where you begin.
Well, that sounds fascinating.
Sorry, did I go too much too soon? I have a tendency to do that.
Not at all. I'm Nicole.
I'm the darkness.
Pleased to meet you, the darkness.
Do you believe in this
Is
thing
that-
called love?
Cloissoné just
We
looks
are.
over at Jesse with a look,
Yeah.
with a terrified look that says, like, time and place, man.
The darkness just looks at you and says, my life became so much more complicated in ways I did not appreciate when that single came out. You are?
I'm Jesse.
That's a lot of ink on you, Jesse.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me saying.
No, it's a habit of my former profession.
I assume you were a tattoo artist?
I used to be, among other, not so much that. I was used to work on carny shows and stuff like that, but had to move on. You know, that business, much like your life got complicated when a song came out. My life
Jesse,
got
Jesse,
complicated.
darling, could I just excuse me a moment for darkness? Could I just pull you aside here for a moment, Jesse?
Mhm.
So, you might have noticed that I gave them a false name and didn't tell them my life story.
So, okay, Cloissoné, you have been left alone with this not unfriendly but somewhat foreboding figure.
She looks pretty terrified at this moment. Like, she's looking back where Karen went off to, like, she left us. And he
Only a
just
few
started
steps,
looking back and
darling,
forth.
right here.
Hi.
Hi. So what do you think of all this stuff? The skin holder, that's terrifying, isn't it?
I mean, kind of. I only just arrived here, so I don't really know I haven't seen, too much of the art yet.
I don't think anything's gonna be more soaked in negative energy than this, although I suppose I could always be surprised. Conducting human sacrifices just because you think it'll make the sun rise. Is the sun really that important? Although I suppose one could question whether a human life is that important.
I mean, I guess if he thought that it was necessary, maybe. I don't know.
A lot of unnecessary suffering has attended on people doing things they thought were necessary, in my experience. All right, let's switch over to Kim and Angel.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, 20th century. Yeah, you're like, this is pretty boring. It's a lot of the World War stuff, what have you. Where are you going after that? There's nothing particularly impressive there to see.
I think I'm going to be trying to look like I'm just casually wandering around, but keeping an eye on the guards, like trying to get an idea of how competent they seem, what the sort of overall situation looks like,
All
how
right.
geared up they are.
The guards are armed with firearms, so it looks like it is a contracted private security firm. And there is a there's a camera up in the corner of 20th century. It's a pretty good camera. Looking at it, you're like, yep, it's not Wi-Fi enabled. It's hardwired into the wall. So you are not going to be able to hack these cameras unless you like poke through the plaster with a screwdriver and get in there with some alligator clips.
Okay. How like competent and alert do the guards seem? Like, do they seem like they're kind of drifting off, or do they seem like really alert?
Average, it's a day. There's not a ton of people around. They seem to be conserving their energy, but not incompetently dozing, leaned up in a corner.
Okay. If it's good with the doc, I want to like kind of wander around the whole thing quite quickly, as though I'm pretty bored, and what I really want to look is to see if there's an obvious like server room and or security room, just kind of get an idea of their cabling and stuff.
All right, so you're gonna do, let's see, a circle. You're here, like just go around and you guys have got this map. You've got
I got
the map from the. Okay, so you do a quick circuit. Not like 1,000 cameras, but the cameras seem well placed. This darkened out area seems to be where all the offices and admin are. You find the guard booth. And in fact, I'm going to assume that Jesse is also checking stuff out. So let me get you Jesse's annotated map. You also see the head. Here's Jesse's annotated map. Here we go. So that's got the camera placements on it and shows where the guard booth is, where the unmarked where the emergency exits are that aren't on the map for public. It's got the doors to the terrace, and the head is out on the terrace. It's up on a plinth. So the thing to remember about the head is it is about this big, right? It's about a 24-inch diameter sphere, like 2/3 of a meter.
Mm-hmm.
And it weighs probably 600 pounds, which I think that's 255 kilos. So it's massive. And on the plus side of that, it means that they haven't done too much to secure it. It's like Rodin's Thinker. Whatever you're worried about with it, you're not worried that someone's going to come into the museum, shove it in their pants, and waltz off. This doesn't need the kind of security that the little gold spider figurines in Mesoamerica need, or that a famous painting would need. So they're trusting that its innate immobility will be something of a security factor. Also, it's not that valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Do there seem to be cameras covering it? I can't tell from like if any of the lines on the map are like, glass windows or solid walls.
The wall that has the terrace doors in it is glass, but it's like tinted glass.
Okay. So the camera by the guard booth might see some stuff, but probably not very well?
Probably not very well. You're looking at this, you're like, that's way out at the end of its range. You don't think it's focused on that. You think it's probably keeping track of that hallway. So you couldn't go through that hallway there unspotted by the camera. But once you got out to the head, you would just be vague shadows doing something.
Okay.
The rest of you see Jesse and Kim waltz around in their circuit, checking out the emergency exit. The cafe and the bistro, it looks like you can get into both of those from the outside, that you don't have to pay museum admission to get in and buy your coffee or whatnot.
What's the hours of service on this place?
It closes at 6 p.m. Opens up at 9. Yeah, probably 8. Like, yeah, no, it's probably 8. 8 to 6. Sounds right?
Is there a gift shop?
Oh, yes. Souvenirs.
Okay. So while I'm walking around with Kim, I'm picking up pretty much like just random things that I see, like if there's like trash on the ground or something, I'm picking it up. But rather than like throwing it away, I'm putting it in my pockets. And then at the souvenir shop, what I really want to find is like a blanket or a pillow or something like that.
Yeah, they've got a blanket that is a reproduction of a French colonial quilt. But
Perfect.
it's
Does
like
it have the
Dunwoven.
Does it have the name of the museum on it?
No, but you could get a T-shirt that has the museum's name on it.
I'll do both.
Okay.
I've got plenty of cash, so.
All right, so you're buying souvenirs. Okay, what about the rest? Back to the first crew. Did you guys make eye contact with Kim and Dr. A when they went by, or were you studiously like?
I would.
Tried not to.
Yeah, try not to.
Yeah.
Okay. You eventually, the darkness drifts off. Are you guys going to go check out the head now that?
Yes.
All right. So you've been able to, you could ask a docent or something, or you can, look through the brochure. There's a pretty good picture of it out in the terrace. When you get there, there is a man standing by the head, and he has got some kind of herbs and is making a circle around the head in herbs. And he looks like, let me find him.
A lot of weird people gathering here today.
Yeah, he's got another guy standing nearby. Big dude, all worked out, standing in the way that will make. Let's see, who's seeing this? Probably it's Jesse who'd pick up on the fact that he's positioned his hands. Let me see if I can do it, so that his biceps are like punched out. So he's deliberately standing in the most intimidating fashion with, glaring at everyone who goes by, and by him about like coming up to here on him is this pretty woman who kind of keeps flicking her eyes up at him as if seeking approval. But, a number of people are watching the guy in the leather jacket with the sheepskin collar as he sprinkles herbs around the head and mutters.
Hello, is this some kind of performance art?
Oh, no. It's not performative at all, my dear. I believe this is an object of tremendous spiritual and cultural energy. I'm trying to align myself with it.
I see. Wherever did you learn that ritual?
In the forest.
A good answer. Might actually know something.
But I'm being rude. And he stands and kind of preens his hair, puts his hand out and says, Count Volpo, at your service.
Nicole, I'll offer my hand properly.
He takes it and gives it a kiss, making eye contact the whole time, eyebrow up.
I eye roll.
So do I.
The little woman kind of giggles, and the man gives her like just a little flick on the shoulder, and she cringes. What are y'all gonna do?
What do you hope to achieve with this? To align yourself with such power?
Oh, well, it's out of place, obviously. If it could be restored, I feel there would be an outpouring of reinforcement. Isn't the entire purpose of the human endeavor to become aligned with one's nature, but also with one's culture?
An interesting point of view. I would say we have more choice in the matter of how we style ourselves than to simply have a culture to have to embrace.
No. There's this. To me, there is this strict foundational division between what is wild and what is civilized.
Oh, well, I certainly agree with that sentiment.
Oh, but who are your friends?
Oh, apologies. I have been remiss. This is Joe, point to Jesse, and Claire.
Charmed. When he takes your hand, Joe, he tries one of those like really crushing hand grips. But it's not quite as crushing as he would. Yeah, I'm figuring Jesse has in his day done a fair share of physical labor, so he's and also dealt with this kind of macho posturing bullshit. So you're able to like,
Yeah, I just go along with it. I'm not don't want to show off my strength in this particular moment. Don't want to be conspicuous, especially when Man-Steel is nearby.
Yeah, he does not introduce himself,
no.
And the woman next to him is like, so Cloissoné, are you just staying buttoned up throughout this? Or
I'm staying largely buttoned up, but I do wave when Mom introduces me as Claire.
Okay.
Where do you think this thing belongs? You just say it doesn't belong here.
Well, it's complicated. But does it strike you as being an object in place, or does it strike you as being lost and really violated?
No, sorry. It just seems to be big rock in a here. Is it rock or is it metal?
It's rock.
Okay,
it's like granite.
Yeah, so it just seems to be a rock in the middle of a museum.
Well, if that's all you see, I suppose that's all it is to you.
Those that have eyes can see.
And what beautiful eyes they are. Cloissoné, how much is your skin crawling as this guy Max on your mom?
A fair amount. Yeah, she probably audibly scoffs, rolls her eyes again.
You could slink off. You don't have to see this.
I'm pretty sure she's actually going to try to move in an arc and talk to Chirp and see if she can do that without offending any of the dudes who clearly have her in some sort of thrall.
Okay. Are you going to try and draw her off with you? Man-Steel has gone over and is looking, Byronically out over the city from the view of the terrace.
Yeah, if other people seem distracted, I might try to talk to her and see if I can get her to walk off slightly. So.
Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Claire, and
Hi,
she'll extend her
Claire.
hand.
They call me Chirp.
Why do they call you Chirp?
I don't know. It's just a nickname. It's not anything important.
You don't.
So, that Count fellow.
I just sort of shrug and yeah. Is he a friend of yours or?
We've met. We're on we traveled together on the same tour, but he seems to be into some weird stuff.
I take it you're not so much?
Not as much as him. I just, just trying to have a nice vacation. And she looks over at Mansteel, who, looks back and kind of scowls at you, and she just smiles and gives him a little wave.
Was there anything you came here in particular to see?
Oh, no. I like the French colonialism stuff. But I'm a real bore with it. Oh, I drag him along with me, and he's so patient with me. He really puts up with a lot.
Cloissoné just sort of nods slowly with increasingly dawning horror and realization, and will try to engage her in talk about her favorite subject, given that it seems like nobody else cares.
Okay. Give me a notice roll.
Yes. Nope, 89.
Okay. Yeah, she natters on about, French colonialism and seems to have a pretty good lay grasp of the history. But it's not any kind of enthralling conversation. And at some point, the guy comes over, just kind of paws her hand up and says, "All right, let's go," and drags her along behind him. Not quite like a caveman dragging a woman by the hair, but it has sort of the same general outlines of that behavior.
It was nice meeting you.
Same.
Sort of wander back.
Yeah, Volpo has gone on and on and on about, the primal energies of the wilderness and how, blah, 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 blah.
It's a lot of words to talk about how clothing defines us as people, and he's getting most of it wrong.
All right, so you guys going to try to engage further with these weirdos, or are you going to go off on your own and plan a heist?
Well, I do want to do one thing before we head off, and I don't think it'll be any great difficulty to find an excuse. I assume he looks like he's wearing expensive clothes.
Pretty expensive. Not like rich by the standards of Manhattan, but like rich by the standards of Kansas. So, prosperous upper middle class, trying to present a little bit.
I'll compliment him on them anyway, and just, this is a very fine shirt, and I will attempt to garden tag him.
Okay, roll it.
41.
Okay. Yep. It is a cotton poly blend, and unless you miss your guess, purchased online from JCPenney.
Well, wherever did you get it?
Oh, there's a little shop back home in New Mexico where the owner's a charming man. I've been going there for years. He does a lovely suit. The shirts are a little bit off the rack, but the suits he does, they don't even have belt loops because when you buy a suit from him, modifications are included for the lifetime of the suit or the wearer.
How wonderful.
It's like, I pride myself that I haven't had to have the pants let out too many times. So he's clearly flirting. Are you like flirting back, or are you just keeping it light and breezy?
I'm flirting back a little bit because this guy seems like a dick, and so I want to mess with him.
I like to see, I know I've got the map laid out, but I'm just trying to see how close we can get like a van or a truck to this terrace, and trying to figure out how to move a 600-pound object.
600-pound object is the sticking point. Getting the van close to the terrace. Okay, you see Exposition Spéciale on the map? That emergency exit door goes right out to the parking lot.
Okay.
The parking lot pretty much ends right on line with the outside wall of the museum. There's a short little wall, much like the 4-footer on the edge of the terrace, and again, looking out over the plunge. But yeah, you could theoretically back a van right up to there, and you could probably, you're pretty confident that you could climb down from there and then back up into the terrace without even going through the museum. The problem is you don't weigh 600 pounds.
No, I'm just is there any obvious sign of how they would have gotten this thing here? Is there like
Oh, it wouldn't be that bad. The emergency exit there, that's a double door.
Okay. So
give me a notice roll.
Yep.
And somebody call odds or evens.
Odds.
Okay. Yeah, it's a well-installed double door, more's the pity. But yeah, to get, it's clearly meant to serve double purpose, as this is where they load in and load out exhibitions in the changing area. So the door right there through to the terrace, it's a sliding glass door. It's double wide. So presumably all they did was unload it from a truck, wheel it through the emergency exit, wheel it out, put it up on the plinth.
Okay. Is there any like indication of like a natural place where I could put maybe a block and tackle pulley and then lift it up and then put it on our own thing?
Not really. The closest would be the wall of the museum, but you'd have to climb up onto the roof. It's the ceiling over the passageway here, all glass. You wouldn't want to try and secure something to that, so you'd have to go onto the stone roof here, and then it would extend out really far, so you'd need a really, really big crane. Your gut instinct is that if you had a good long crowbar, you could jam that between the head and the plinth and just dangle on it and maybe rock it off, but it would just fall to the turf and probably leave a pretty deep dent. If you had more people, you're thinking like 3 people could lift it and put it on a dolly.
Okay.
Maybe 2 people if they were in good shape. All right.
Sorry, I have one thing I want to do before we head off, if that's okay.
Sure.
I take it there'll be like a laptop at the register in the souvenir store? Is it like plugged into a network cable?
Yep.
I want to try and create, is there stuff in the counter like pencils or like, like a tub of pencils, small things?
Bric-a-brac? Yeah. There's all kinds of little fiddly gewgaws and, the itty-bitty impulse purchase by the cash register books. And
I want to like go up to the register and I want to plug in like a wireless adapter to a USB port on the laptop so we can get access to their system.
Okay.
And if the person working the register is distracted, then I'll just plug it in.
I can provide a distraction.
Yeah.
How is Dr. Angel going to provide a distraction? I'll just fake a heart attack.
No, obviously, I would not be the one faking the heart attack because then I would have to treat myself.
Live, damn me!
I walk up to the guy. Who is it? A guy or a girl at the cash register?
It is a young man.
So I kind of Hi again. I'm back.
Hello.
Realized that I wanted a couple of other things, and I grabbed like a bunch of candy bars from down below and just start like piling them up there.
You're going to give yourself the diabetes.
No. I monitor my blood sugar pretty closely. I'm a physician. It's fine. I know what I'm doing.
A doctor.
Well, I guess
yeah.
I'll get in and I'll look like grab for a thing at the same time. Or, yeah.
Give me a secrecy roll, Kim.
Should I roll connect to see how?
Nah, your distraction's not that. Your distraction's okay.
Okay.
How high is Kim's secrecy?
Ooh. My secrecy's only 30, but I rolled a 15. Yes.
You're like, I've been it. This would be anxiety producing for some people, but no. Plus, you have the weird IT professional's ability to always know which end of the USB is up. So
Yep.
you just slot that in there flawlessly. Okay. You're probably not going to need to roll. So anyone else doing anything before you leave the museum? On your way out, Cloissoné, give me a pretext for why you get briefly separated from the others. Go to get a thing of coffee, go to the bathroom, something.
It's probably in part to go to the bathroom, and probably in part because I am getting almost physically ill from watching my mother flirt with Count Bulbo. So any excuse to get away briefly is good.
All right. As you are on your way back to meeting them up at the front, you see the darkness standing in a corner talking to someone who you would not really... She does not have that hangs out with the darkness vibe. She looks like the kind of mom you envied, the moms who would always pick their kids up from school on time and would make them lunches and wouldn't say things that made everyone stick their eyebrow up. And this woman has that sort of soft middle American domesticity coming off her in waves, except for one thing, which is that she is holding this purple rabbit stuffed animal and wringing it by the neck as she talks to the darkness and kind of tilts her head, and the darkness, kind of glances over at you and shifts their posture so that they're standing between you and the rabbit woman.
I will just do my standard nervous wave. There's probably like a brief, wistful moment where I sort of look like, that's nice, wait a minute, what's she doing? Does it look like a nervous thing, or does it look deliberate?
It looks like a nervous tick.
Okay. And then I'll keep going.
All right. And y'all make it back to the B&B without incident.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. What's your heist plan, crew?
This
I want
is
to see
awkward.
how much access I have to the system now that I've got it with a wireless adapter in it. I want to see,
Right. Give me a hacker roll.
Cool. Yeah, 60. So,
You can turn that into a 0-6.
oh yeah,
Because you're leaked. All right. What you find out is that there are two, it seems like there are two intranets for the museum. You would assume there is a security intranet that is completely air-gapped. You find like maybe some references to it, but it is boxed off. You cannot get into it from the outside, which pretty typical. Mm-hmm. But you can get into where people check their schedules, where they make their schedules, sort of an online chat for, arranging Francois' birthday party, this sort of thing.
okay.
You can get at their financials. some stuff is password protected, but it doesn't look like anything real serious. You're like, if you really want to get into someone's email, you can set an automated password guesser to batter its way in a couple hours. You don't think it's going to be anything. It's not high-end security because this is not anything that needs to be really, really protected. It's the quotidian details of running a lower-end Canadian cultural museum.
Okay.
What are you
So
looking
I
for?
have access to like the schedules for the guards for tonight, like when
Yes,
they
you
swap
do.
and who.
Yes. It looks like there are 3 guards by night. They slightly stagger their times so that they don't all show up at once and leave at once.
Okay.
And their names are Jean-Luc, Jean-Claude, and Jean-Pierre.
Okay. Can I find out anything useful about them from any references in the sort of internet?
Give me another roll to, try and scrape through all these emails and postings and whatnot.
89.
Could we add information into the system? Like
Sure.
having some sort of maintenance guy and changing it to, so when a maintenance guy shows up tonight, we could have it showing that the security guards would look it up and say, oh yeah, there's a maintenance guy who's doing some sort of repair on the terrace.
Yeah, can I just get into like
You wouldn't even need to
one
roll
of the
for
sort
that.
of emails from the bosses and send an email from that account and timestamp it so it looks like it's come earlier and they've like missed it?
Now you guys keep in mind, you're not under any particular time crunch.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, you don't have to do this tonight. You can take a couple days. But yeah, it's not high security. This is not that high security. You could schedule a maintenance access. You could put in a dummy email saying, oh yeah, this guy's going to show up to do some tuck pointing on the wall of the terrace, or is going to redo some plants, or there was a complaint about one of the benches.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely the bench sounds like a good thing. I've looked into it. There is, I looked it up on Google right now. There's apparently these kind of weird, straps that allow you to allow people to lift up heavy objects, so you can take 2 of them. If you want, I can upload the photo.
Yeah, I do want to see what this looks like.
Yeah. So what is it? Where did I put them? Oh wait, let me. I must have saved it to somewhere else. Hold on.
Okay, so getting in then sounds doable. You put up a dummy, make a dummy janitorial repair appointment for the bench. Jesse goes in maybe with someone else with, a couple toolboxes and a dolly.
Yep.
But extraction might be a little more of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for that, we will require an ingenious distraction.
What are you thinking, Karen?
I'm wondering, just looking through my wardrobe. No, it is tricky with what I've brought with me. But you didn't see any infrared or any of the tripwire pressure plate. I don't know security. It's fine, but you didn't see anything like that. It's just cameras and people.
Mom, they don't have pressure plates.
They might have pressure plates.
For things like the gold statuettes in Mesoamerica, not for the thing where...
Yeah,
Let me read
Unless we're
you.
trying to steal the other thing we saw.
Let me read you out what Jesse was able to Jesse and Kim were able to ascertain about the tech. Cameras, closed circuit, battery backup, can't be hacked remotely. Main doors and those onto the terrace are tempered glass, barred at night. Cutting or smashing them is possible, but it would take some work. And attacking the front door would be obvious from the street. The emergency exits on the side are steel doors with crash bars on the inside and theoretically no access from without. All the doors and windows have magnetic locks, which you're guessing, you're like, these will sound some kind of alarm if opened unless you spoof them or bypass them, which is not impossible, but, takes time, access, and attention. Let's see, glass panels over the terrace are wired, so you can tell that they have been rigged up so that if something breaches them, it'll release a signal. Let's see, security gear is carefully and expertly secured. And yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Tell if there's a pressure plate under the stone. Like, we could at least see if there was, or could have seen if there was wires running to the stone. Like, even with a metal detector, we could see if there was wires.
It didn't look like there was a plate under it. It didn't look like there were wires. It's possible that there's a plate completely hidden under the head and that the wires go through the plinth and are buried underneath.
Could we use like a metal detector to find that out though beforehand?
You could. If you want to get out there with a metal detector, it would be hard to be innocuous with that unless you were invisible.
I've got crutches, so I could hide it in one of the crutches, right?
Oh, there you go.
That is an excellent plan. So the reason I was asking about pressure plates and the like, because while that's a good gathering of information, I was thinking that if when you go in to do your maintenance work, I could slip in wearing my fabulous cloak.
Yeah, what does your invisibility cloak look like, by the way?
Let's see now. It's I think it's gossamer fine with sigils embroidered through it in silver thread on this very thin, very fine black.
Nice.
You could kind of miss it if it was dropped on the floor and the floor was dark.
Okay.
So what I could conceivably do is set off an alarm at the other end of the building. And if we look for the right kind of alarm, something that'll draw the guards, but there's nothing there, like a pressure plate would be good if I can just, step on it and then walk away invisibly. Nothing's there. They've checked, they'll look, they'll log it as an incident, but they probably won't call the police.
What about opening one of the emergency exit doors and just letting it shut?
If the door's been opened and shut, I'm thinking that that's the kind of thing where they might then go, well, we need to search the whole building. There could be something going on here. But there's no sign of any mysterious entry. There's just something set off an alarm. That's just a mistake, isn't it? That's just an error.
Or you could just go do something to one of the cameras. They'd probably be like, oh, this camera just went dark. Let's go take a look and see what happened. How did this come unplugged in the middle of the night spontaneously? Well, we'll just plug it back in. Although, to get the camera down, you'd need to probably actually pull the plug out. It's not just inserted, it's like screwed in place.
If you use like a powerful magnet, it could break it for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is an excellent idea.
If you said that you could make yourself actually invisible.
Oh, yes.
If you can get the guards somewhere, I can give you some really good stuff to put in their coffee or whatever it is they happen to be drinking if you think you can get to it.
Okay, about that, let me address that from a little bit of a more realistic. There's a box text called "A Word on Drugging People." In the movies, you stick an ether-soaked rag in someone's face, and they're out until the plot finds it convenient. But tranking someone who is running around and resisting is difficult to do. It's called chemical
I'm
restraint.
very well aware.
So. And it's dangerous unless you know their weight and can guess at their metabolism.
Yeah, I again, this is all stuff that I know.
Yeah, so you would need to have different levels for each of the guards. You would have to observe them, and because they're not all.
Oh yeah.
Try to find like recent pictures of them online, since I know their names and some details about them, so you can get an estimate of their weight from photos.
They probably also have personnel files. I assume security guards have to take recent physicals.
Yeah. Well, that would be off-site though, because they're subcontractors.
Oh, okay, that's right. I forgot about that.
I don't think I'm comfortable poisoning them, and frankly, that's what this would be.
It's not poison. The dose makes the poison.
The dose does make the poison, and we'll be guessing the dose.
Yeah, that sounds like we'd probably be escalating
just,
thievery to murder.
It's not murder if you just make them a little tired.
Well, that would be another option, is that you could err on having it be really weak, and where you, in your professional judgment, there's no risk of a cardiac event, but where it's like, yeah, they're just gonna be a little slow, drowsy, just a little, nothing you couldn't chalk up to it being an off night.
Yeah, I'm not saying knock them out completely, just make them a little tired.
We're just gonna pour rum in their coffee. That'll do it.
Okay, if it's going to be something that's that weak, then I rescind my objection.
All right.
Other options would be to do something that looks a little bit shifty and thus definitely draws their attention a little bit after the maintenance people have gone in and started work and are just being maintenance people as arranged. I'm thinking, and correct me, Kim, if this is not how things would work, but it's the middle of the night. We need to upgrade the computer things. And we don't want to do that while people are here. We want to do it when it's quiet, because it'll take the security system offline maybe a bit or something. The guards are going to be watching you very carefully while you're doing that. And if you can set up the appointment the same way.
Close enough to identify her afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Well, I do have my flim flam magic if we need to help do something in that regard.
All right. Well, it sounds like the soft part of this plan right now is the distraction, and exactly how and what you want to do for the distraction. But all right. So talk me through step by step. Describe it as if it is going off perfectly.
You mean the distraction or the entire operation?
The whole heist.
I guess, well, I and someone else, because I've looked it up, it needs to be two people to do the moving of the job. I put a link down there in the chat if anyone wants to see what kind of tools we could use.
That'd probably be me then, I think.
Yeah, so
I'm
the
in
two
pretty
of
good
us
shape.
go in there. We present ourselves as guys. If the guards give us any suspicion, I do have the flim flam $20 ritual I can use to make them go along with it. And then we go in, double doors, bringing in. We have to bring in some equipment, and we go out back while they're off patrolling or having coffee or doing anything else. And we grab the stone, we lift it up, we put it on the dolly. we don't have to do much lifting from what I can tell. Just need to get something underneath the stone and then roll it out and then do the same kind of thing to put in the back of the van.
Okay.
So,
meanwhile, to keep the guards from spotting that bit, which is very definitely the noticeable bit which they should be paying enough attention to stop, I, dressed as a policeman wearing a cloak, or possibly a fireman wearing a cloak, I'll decide, will be... No, policeman's almost certainly better for this.
It's an American police uniform, though.
It is, but it's also an American fireman's uniform. I'm thinking that knowing how policing works is going to be the useful bit of this, not pretending to be a police officer to anyone here. I will go through to looking at the map. The Mesoamerican exhibit looks like it might be a great place to do this.
Right.
Which I am not. All the autochthones.
Engines.
Yeah, the natives of the plains.
Yeah. Yes, darling, could you just translate, say that for me?
Cloissoné, what's an autochthone?
Yes, that is as far away as possible, and there's no through lines. So
I see a problem with your attempting to con them as a police officer. Do you at any time have to speak to them?
I don't think she plans on
There are two
talking
things
to
here. There are two things here. I'm planning on doing this all invisibly and not being noticed at all. The police uniform is for secondary effects.
Okay.
Ah. Ooh. So, quick question. Does my police uniform, it's a full police uniform, does it include a firearm?
No, but you could borrow one from Kim.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to check that before I say, does anyone have a handgun I could borrow?
She's only got the one.
Yeah, you can have my my Glock. Yeah.
So do you want it with the regular 17 bullet clip or the ridiculously long 33 bullet clip?
17.
Which will certainly throw the complete belt and balance of the ensemble off.
No, I want it as a normal police officer might carry a firearm, please.
Okay.
Oh, that is quite a stylish looking piece. Yes, that will go. Gingerly put it down and
using police knowledge, you will create the optimum distraction that won't actually get the police called while they smuggle the head out.
Yes.
Are you planning to go out the door with them or crash through another door later?
I think probably the best thing is, in an ideal world, if everything's going absolutely smoothly, I'll try and go out with them. But that's only if I'm sure the security guards are well enough distracted. If I'm still having to, I don't know, knock a few things over, play a ghost, basically. Because that's basically where I'm aiming for. This will be a spooky story that they would tell for drinks for a while, except that also the giant head vanished, which is going to kind of overwhelm this story. So if everything's gone absolutely perfectly and they're definitely distracted, I'll slip out with them. Otherwise, I'll hang around for a while and then slip out.
Do we want to make it? Do we want to leave evidence of something else happened? We could probably take a small drone, buy a small drone, and put a sheet over the top of it and leave it behind after you're doing that. So then the cops will think that there was not some sort of invisible ghost that went on. They'll find evidence of like someone using a drone to distract the guards while we were dead.
No, that won't work because that won't be on the cameras.
Yeah,
but it's complicated.
Yeah, that's adding another thing. Okay. Also, I really don't want us to be buying anything we leave behind with our own money. right now.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to go in and upgrade the systems to?
No, I think that would be because they'll be spending time with you, keeping an eye on you.
Yes,
during a 10-hour system update, which I have had to go through.
Yeah, yes, I didn't really think that bit through, I'm afraid.
All right. So the simple.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do have 3 questions for clarification. Do we think the Outback is going to be able to handle this head? Do we have enough room? Or do we need another car?
The van could.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have another. We have a.
You got Kim's tech van.
Got it. Okay. Now I've lost track of my second question. But my third was going to be, there were an awful lot of weirdos hanging around the museum when we went there. Do we need any countermeasures? Are we worried about them? One said he was connecting to this. Will he know that it was stolen? Like, also, I don't think I told you about the woman with the bunny. The darkness had somebody else with them. So like, I don't know how many people are going to be around. We saw at least 5.
That is a concern. It is, frankly, one of the reasons why I wish to have a firearm.
That's fair.
Which you will know how to use as a police officer.
Yes, I'm more interested in the fact that I'll know how to intimidate people with it as a police officer.
Well, that's usually a team sport, but okay.
I don't know how to make myself useful. I'm pretty limited in what I can do unless I'm inside them.
You're not that limited. I mean, on one hand, your legs are atrophied, but on the other hand, you have massively jacked arms. And the leg thing is mostly a matter, they're not super strong, but it's mostly an endurance problem. So for short little bursts, you can maybe get through it, and anything you can compensate with your arms, that'll be okay.
We might also need a getaway driver.
Yes, that's definitely a factor.
I'd assumed that you'd be doing that, darling.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured I was going to end up doing.
You could take 2 vehicles.
Or she could
actually,
be
yes.
car. She's shotgun. She has a gun, a rifle. She might be needing to use it while we drive away.
I wouldn't feel terrible if Kim were in the car with a gun with me.
Oh, are you guys going to do all in one van then? Head
we
goes
can do
in the
2,
van.
but I mean, those are the options.
Okay, so I do have one suggestion for Kim that works with you staying in the van and looking after the equipment. But you have access to their sort of casual network, I'll call it.
Yes.
So would that include doing some things with, say, the air conditioning or some of the lighting or things like that?
It's not a smart home. That stuff's all manual.
Oh, well.
They're like, oh, we could spend $8,000 to upgrade this so that we could do it off our phones, or we can do it the way we always have, which is the thermostat in the grayed out offices.
Yeah, is there anything that you could switch on, switch off?
Not really.
Yeah. Oh, well. That could have helped with the ghost look, but if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there.
Okay, so 1 car or 2?
I'm cool either way.
Yeah, the reason to bring in a second car, we could have someone on an Overwatch capability. So if other cars show up or do something, we can interfere with that with a second car.
Yes. Also, with a second car that is uninvolved in the heist but parked nearby, if I do end up waiting for an hour and then leaving,
let's
it's kind
leave
of
it nearby,
convenient.
but not use it unless we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
the 2 of us can be. otherwise.
Kim and Cloissoné will be in the van.
Mhm.
Who's in the driver's seat?
I don't mind being in the driver's seat, but it is your van.
Okay.
You need
All
what,
right.
sorry?
I don't mind being in the driver's seat, but it is your van, so. it's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
call.
absolutely. That's totally fine.
Okay.
I'll take my rifle in the back, and I can
She
keep
is
an
a
eye.
very good driver.
I can keep
Thanks,
an eye on
Mom.
the low security internal network. I do think I might be able to freak them out a little if they're near any of the computers on the low security internal network. I could up the CPU, make them run really hot, really noisy. Just
Mostly they shut them down at night.
Mhm.
I mean, they've got the servers inside the office. You could mess with those, but it could work. All right. When are you going to schedule the cleaning? Or actually, looking through it, it sounds like what they're actually asking someone to come and do. There's a work request in to redo the wall and clean it out and tuck point it.
Okay.
So you can just schedule a tuck pointing appointment.
Okay. I would like to do it at the time when there's the least amount of guards on shift. We know that they spread themselves out.
It's always 3.
Okay. All right. I guess it's go time.
Give it a couple
Yeah.
days. All right. What you doing? Anything special over those couple days?
I am.
What are you doing?
So I collected a bunch of stuff from the museum
Mhm.
so that we can do a little bit of reality bruising here.
Do it.
So I have trash from the museum floor, and I have an oversized T-shirt with the museum's logo on it, very similar to like nondescript clothing that belongs in the museum.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a pillow or a blanket. I can't remember which I got. I
It
think
was a quilt or
Quilt, yeah.
a woven blanket. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice and warm and relaxing and comfy. So I want to, during the heist, get the semblance of comfort and coziness and warmth at the museum where nothing is wrong and out of place. So basically what I want to do then is, I believe it's called a boon for, I'll do it for, I think Jesse is probably the best target for this one.
Magic does stick to Jesse pretty well.
And so I am using my hearing Sepatol identity.
Okay.
And that is a 78, which is not going to work. And I don't think I have anything that can let me re-roll because I don't really think that that's healing body and spirit.
No, you're just... Yeah, so the doctor says some stuff over some trash and seems... You can't tell if it worked or not in character. So you're like, that probably could possibly help.
Mm-hmm. Good work, Doc.
Well, does it involve Jesse wearing the T-shirt?
Mm-hmm.
The actual ritual?
Yeah, is he going to wear the T-shirt to carry the magic in?
While casting the ritual, he would wear the T-shirt. He doesn't have to for like going into the museum, though.
No. In that case, yes, I think that probably worked.
Yep,
that's good magic.
All right.
And then, did we get pictures of the guards or like any kind of like? Even on like social media.
You can watch them for a couple days and clock them.
Okay.
And we get like metal stick-ons to the side for like a contractor.
You can dummy that up over a couple days.
Yeah.
Kim, give me a notice.
Yeah, 49 under my skill of 50.
So you're doing computery shit in your truck and you're like, why is my Wi-Fi signal disrupted? And it's just like a little burp, like a little whoomp. And you're like, that's not right. no one else would notice this little strange lag in signal strength, but you're like, that shouldn't be though. And so you start going and checking the strength of the signal throughout, and you're like, something is interfering with my Wi-Fi hotspot. And once you're looking for it, you find that someone has placed an electronic device in the wheel well of your truck. It's basically a homemade low jack.
What's a low jack? Sorry.
Oh, it's something where you can push a button and it'll say, here's the coordinates of where your car is at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So somebody has put a tracker on your car.
Now, is there a way for us to trace back to where the signal is coming from?
Not really.
We could have some fun by putting this on another guy's car and let them go chasing after that.
You definitely could. And let's see, who would get the call? Probably Jesse gets the call.
Okay.
Midday. And it's Mara. You remember Mara?
Yeah, the person who's I owe $2,000 to, apparently.
Yes, you owe Mara some money, and she is the one who suggested to all of y'all that you should steal this head.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim in particular has reason to be grateful to Mara.
Yep.
And Dr. A in particular has reason to be very impressed with Mara.
Okay.
Karen's like met her. You know her somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a call from her and she's like, hey Jesse, how's it going? Are you on your this is your not government name phone, right? This is your casual phone, right?
Yes.
So we can talk, not like freely, but we can talk about things that we might wish we could talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about the weather.
The weather, yeah. Remember when I suggested that you should go to Canada and do something? Because
Yep.
I thought the weather would be really nice.
Yeah, we're out here seeing the whales.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it may not be as good an idea as I thought. Apparently some of those whales can, you think the whales are good, sweet creatures brimming full of positive energy, but actually the whales may be killer whales.
Really?
Well, and I may have been, I may have acted too quickly in suggesting that you go see the whales,
Mm-hmm.
and that the weather would be good if you saw the whales.
Are you suggesting that maybe we should just go back home and not go see the whales?
I think that's exactly what I'm suggesting, yeah. Or at least until we know more about the whales.
Okay. You want you want us to hang around and you can call us back and let us know more about these whales? We can go see something else.
I think you probably should just go home. And she sounds a little torn and a little worried when she says just go home.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'll let the other guys know that that's what you're thinking.
You and I'll still be quit, You're good. I really appreciate that you showed willing, and boy, I could use that money, but this may be much more important than just a monetary debt. Okay.
I'll let everyone know about what's going on, and we'll get back to you if we decide not to see the whales.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Watch out for yourselves and watch out for each other, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Mara.
Yeah, so what does Jesse make of that?
That the darkness might be a lot more dangerous than a thing called love. I'll go up to the other guys and say, so I just got a call from our friend down in the States who suggested we go on this little trip. And she suggests we should all just go home.
So it's off?
Well,
She says we're free and clear to not do this if we don't want to.
Right. I'm going to take a little break, but you guys figure out what your plans are vis-a-vis Mara's warning and the bug in the truck, and your plans.
Before you take off for a second, you said that I have reason to be impressed by Mara.
Yeah.
I went back and checked my dossier. I don't see her mentioned anywhere. So who is this?
Okay, you know how Kim had that real bad problem?
Yes.
Mara's the one who fixed that. She's the
Got it.
barrel.
Okay. Got it.
So,
okay.
and it was, you're like, yeah, Western medicine can't get a result like that.
Okay.
It was like instant extermination.
Got it.
Boom.
Cool.
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna tell the doc about the LoJack thing.
I mean, we could. Is it removable? Like, can we just take it out?
Yeah, like these things are designed to a lot of them use magnets, so you can just slap them on pretty easily, pretty quickly.
Okay, so they shouldn't.
To be able to slide it off, and we could put it on something else, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. I feel like it's better to send them in a different direction than to shut it off completely.
Yeah. Or maybe a city bus, or...
I was just thinking one of the other cars in the parking lot.
Well, here's an idea.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Are you sharing this with the rest of us?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it occurs to me we could put it on a truck that we know is heading to the States. That could make them think we're leaving town.
That's a good idea. Yes.
If we're intending to go forward with this.
I was also going to suggest that we might want to leave it for a bit, like basically pretend we haven't noticed it until we're going to do something which we don't want to be followed on. So there's no chance of them going, but the van's still here and the LoJack thing has left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So if we are going to go forward, do it that night.
Mm-hmm.
As to whether we're going to go forward, so Mara is involved in me knowing about the head, but I have my own reasons for being interested in it. So if Mara has no interest in the head anymore, I'd still like to steal it.
I think she's very interested in... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go ahead. I remember the second thing. Where are we taking it? If we go forward with this.
Well, the plan ultimately was to take it back to where it came from.
Well, I mean, like, even just like a reconnaissance point. Like, where are we taking it from here?
Like short term, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that we basically leave town at that point, and well, I don't have a good idea for how to get it across the border, I don't have a good idea for how to get it across the border. I have an idea, but it's terrible.
Does it just drive across the border?
Well, it's driving across the border while being an American police officer in my case. I can be very convincing.
There are tiny little border crossings between New Brunswick and Vermont where there's like a guy. It will be very easy to get this thing back across the border.
Unless the borders are secure because of like alert.
We can go get a boat.
Be on the lookout for 600-pound stone head.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might want to have a look in the back of any vehicle that could be transporting that.
I mean, we could also just go at not a border crossing. There are like a ton of miles of undefended border.
Well,
and while there are a lot of trees...
Yep.
Do you want to carry a 600-pound head through the trees? The other thing that just because the border is unguarded doesn't mean that it's unsecured.
Right.
There are sensors buried in the earth, and there's drones flying overhead.
We get it we take it to some place where we can secure it for like a month.
Till the heat
Like
dies
we get like a storage unit or something. We leave it there. We come back a month later and we can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's not a bad plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. All right. So what did you conclude about it? It sounds to me like you're still planning to steal this thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And what did you make of the tracker?
We're gonna take it off and put it on a vehicle when we go to the museum, just so we don't alert them too soon that we know.
Put it on a truck that we suspect is going to head to the States.
Okay. Very clever. All right. Anything else before we kick this off? You took a couple nights to watch the guards, right?
Learn their habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I typed out the things that I need to calculate a good dose, which is basically height, weight, and smoking status.
All right. Yeah. Weight, you're gonna have to guess.
Yeah, I figured I'd have to guess on all of these, but that's not
smoking
that bad.
status. Let's see. 2 of them smoke.
Okay.
And yeah, you can get the height to a pretty good tolerance because, counting bricks on the outside of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right. And you're gonna go. You're gonna err on the side of safety.
I'm gonna err on the side of safety.
Okay.
I just kind of want to make them a little bit drowsy, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But
All right.
I don't want to risk any respiratory distress or anything like that.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. Give me that medical roll.
Yeah. So, that is a 7.
Nice. And this is something. This is dope for their coffee, or this is injectables.
This is dope for their coffee or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to use oral for this.
Okay. All right. Anything else y'all gonna do before you kick it off?
Obviously, if we're taking a few days here, I'm going to do some clothes shopping.
Of course.
Get
All
myself a nice Canadian outfit. I mean, I don't think I can get anything that is going to be worth using for any of the spells, but I can hopefully get a charge.
Well, I'm going to do an A-team montage while I learn how to use all these tools.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys have gotten boy, what are you going to use as your simulated head for breaking in the tools?
I'm sure we can get some sort of 200. We could probably get a very rounded shape of granite from someplace, and use that as a practice thing.
But
it'll be like we can certainly buy a piece of granite or find one on the side of the road somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, you can find a piece of road trash that's immense. Some chunk where they've been fixing the road and clearing away part of a hillside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're fooling around with the boulder. You've got your doses. You give them to Karen. Karen's got on her police outfit under her invisibility cloak.
Mm-hmm.
You wait for nightfall, and when it's good and dark, you pull. Cloissoné pulls up to the right side by the door. Right at you said you'd be there at what, like 11 o'clock at night?
One other thing, I'll rent a storage locker unit that's has outside access, and so that when we do this, we can drop it off there almost immediately. And
all right,
have a couple days advance.
Me a burglar roll. Just to do this where it can't be traced back to you.
Okay, 58.
Oh yeah. you know a guy who knows a guy who can be trusted. You negotiate in Cezanne and
and
tell some jokes.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't care enough to dime you out. You get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not quite to the point where you pay him in meth, but yeah,
weed is illegal here for 2 years now.
This guy has got lots of other stuff going on where he doesn't want police attention.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so you pull up. Cloissoné's in the driver's seat. Kim's in the passenger seat. Who goes with the bug to place it on a different vehicle? Because the plan was to pull that off and stick it on a truck, right?
We're on our way there. We stop at a truck stop. We find a truck that looks like it's got American plates.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're doing that?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Now we go on the heist.
Right.
I would like to know, just before we actually go in, where the Count's shirt is. It's a poor substitute for knowing where the Count is, but...
the Count's shirt is in a hotel about a mile and a half away.
Okay.
So quite close to the museum.
That way.
Yep.
Yeah,
you can drive around, triangulate it, and you're like, his shirt's in there. I'd stake my life on it.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'd stake his life on it.
All right, so yeah, you figured out probably what hotel Volpo's staying in, if not where the man himself is. Pull up. They're waiting for you. All right, give me the roll to go invisible.
Ooh, that would be a 95, but it's a 59.
Okay. All right, so yeah, y'all get to see her straight up fucking poof out. It's pretty amazing. And the guards open the doors and like, oh yeah, you're doing the wall thing, right? Yeah, okay. Here, we'll show you where it is.
Okay.
And they hold the door for you while you move your dolly full of the heist gear in.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of time is it?
It's like 11 o'clock at night.
Cool.
All right, and Karen is heading where?
I'll head through. How many of the security guards have come out to meet the incoming?
Just one.
Okay. Well, I will first head by the security office and see what the situation is there.
Okay, and as you're walking there, you pass one of the other guards, and he like twitches, and hand actually goes to his gun. He's like, fucking hell. Where are you? And you hear on his radio, Jean-Claude. He's like, I'm hearing something's in here with us. It's the same as the other nights, man. I am not imagining this. And yeah, the guy who's with you, he's like, okay, so you guys are all set. He doesn't seem to want to leave your presence, but he realizes that he must.
Everything all right?
Oh, this place is just real different at night. And you know, that, I don't know, perhaps it's the sacrificial stuff in the Mesoamerican room. That it's creepy. You know, you see him at night. It's the old thing about a clown in the moonlight. I don't know. It's been bad the last couple nights, and I mean, one of my coworkers is really getting paranoid about it. So, yeah, y'all are in for a treat. Stay in the well lit areas, and off he goes. Karen, you're by the area where the what is it? The guard booth, and you can see inside. The guy's got the door open, and he's kind of jittering his leg and drumming his fingers.
Okay. Are there cups of coffee on display?
There are.
Okay. Well, they're ready for a ghostly haunting. I can hopefully pretend I'm a ghost if it all goes wrong. I'm going to try to Mickey their fins.
All right, give me a secrecy roll.
Right, and just how awful at this am I? Not too bad. 26.
Okay.
A success.
Yeah, so you get the top off and set it down and are throwing stuff in when the guard, looks, and he snatches up the lid and, you're like, and is looking at the coffee, and he's like staring at the little grains of powder. And he's like, Jean-Luc, come on back here, would you? And Jean-Luc's like, I'm hearing stuff. And it's like, well, Jean-Pierre, where are you? And he's like, I'm coming back from the terrace. He's like, okay, let's all just meet back here real quick.
This is a fairly small booth, yeah?
Yeah, but you can slip out as he's dumping the coffees in the trash. And you can smell the fear on him. He's all pitted out. He's like taking deep breaths, pulls out his handgun, checks that it's clear and ready to go. And then bites off his thumbnail, just like. So the other three, you're out in the hall by the time the other three come back. And you can hear them muttering in French. And then it gets real cold.
I guess Kim did find a way into the air conditioning systems.
This is colder than... There is no air conditioning system short of a blast freezer that can do this. You can see your breath for a few seconds. Give me a notice roll, Karen.
16.
All right, so you're looking around, and by the corner, so you're like in here, I'm figuring.
Uh-huh.
And by this corner, you see some tiny little thing, like 6 inches up from the ground, come around the corner of the wall, and then another. And then this floppy-eared silhouette. And then it retreats. All right, you guys have got the head up, and it's on the dolly, and everything's going much easier than you expected.
Perfect.
Great.
So as long as the guards don't come and see you taking it,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, okay, so give me which of you has the better secrecy?
Let's see, let me look it up here.
Karen, which way are you going back to? Are you doing? What are you doing, Karen? I'll just leave.
Well, I still need to keep them distracted. That's the plan. I think going and setting off an alarm somewhere is frankly overkill at this point. But are there like stands with brochures about the different exhibits in the exhibit halls?
No, the brochures are all up at Entree. There's plaques, but there are inexpensive and replica stuff is out. You can knock over one of those. Where on the map are you gonna do this? Like you going back to Mesoamerique where you saw the whatever the hell it was you saw? Or are you going the opposite direction?
I think I want to put it down towards Mesoamerique, because, well, the other way gets them closer to the terrace.
Okay, so you get into the Mesoamerican area, and there is a sitting on the shelf. You've got a figure of the bat god, and you've got a figure of the corn god, and you've got this grungy purple toy rabbit.
I do not touch the rabbit. The bat god. Bats are creepy. People find bats creepy.
Camazotz.
I don't understand why. They make great costumes.
So you're just going to tip that off?
Click.
Okay. And as you do that, the rabbit, and it opens its mouth, and sticking out like a tongue is, you think it's the barrel of a .45 caliber pistol.
What the fuck?
Things I did not expect to see.
But it can't see you because you're invisible. So how long does that last? Minutes equal to...
The cloak. I'm not actually seeing a...
I think it's minutes equal to the roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you roll for that?
16?
16 was the secrecy, I think.
Roll, yeah.
Was it 59?
I think it was 59. Yeah, it was 95, which I flip-flopped.
That's it.
So you're fine. You're going to be unseen for a whole flipping hour. All right.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's a number of minutes equal to the result. Yeah. There. I couldn't see that.
Yeah, you've got enough hardened notches that seeing this thing that obviously should be animate, and gun-tonguing you. Yeah, you don't need to make a roll, but it does. But you're probably not happy about it though.
No.
All right. What you doing? You're rolling off to help these guys shove the thing?
Well, I should be able to, from here, be able to see if the guards are reacting to unexpected motion and stuff.
You just hear French coming out of there. And then...
word is tabernacle is what would be said a lot.
The one that comes out, two of them come out, and they sort of look at each other, and then one of them's coming down the hall towards you, and the other is going down the hall towards where Jesse and Angel would be stealing the head.
Okay, fuck it. Corn God, launch it in their direction. And then, step rapidly backwards so that the gun bunny can't gun bunny me.
Okay. So are you going back to the door to extract yourself?
That would be the plan after this. I'm launching the thing to try and get the guards to come this way, and then I'm going to try and head out.
Jesse and Angel, who's got the higher fitness?
I am at 55.
Okay. And Angel is at...
That is Angel.
Oh, that is Angel. Oh, you're both at 55. So each of you give me a roll.
Okay.
As long as one of you succeeds, you should be able to get this out of there before
46.
the guards notice it's gone. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you're just... Okay. Loading. You're going to abandon the dolly on site. It was bought with cash.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. As far as you know, okay, how are you gonna wait for Karen? You're getting stuff secured. Cloissoné, you can hear them in the back. You turn the key. Kim, give me a notice roll, Kim.
83.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
believe how smoothly this went.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going great. It's not like
Karen,
this
you
in all the movies.
You get there, and the guard has looked out in the back, and his eyes have gotten huge, and you can hear the van start up. What are you doing?
Okay, door to the outside is presumably
It's wide open.
wide open. Coinage.
Yeah, you got
yeah.
coins.
Grab a coin.
Uh-huh.
Flip it down the hall back the way towards the guard station, so that he'll turn that way. I mean, hopefully, just get his attention off the fact that the van is starting, and then duck out the door while he's distracted by that.
Oh, he's not distracted by the coin. He's distracted by the gunshot.
Even better.
All right, so you duck out the back. Yeah, I think it'll work for you to just bolt on in there or come in through the side door and then reveal yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all start up and head on down the road at how are you opting to go, Cloissoné?
Casual, so I'm
Okay.
obeying speed limits and all that good stuff.
So you just got your arm out the window, just driving my van down the street at 11:20 at night, as is appropriate. Okay. You go probably not very. When are you gonna strip the signs off the side?
Once we get a little bit of, just a couple miles out down the road,
Okay.
pull over, strip the signs off.
Yeah, Cloissoné, give me a pursuit roll.
What? I think I got it. 49 out of 60, I believe is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys pull over. You've got, everything's great. So you're taking the signs down. Where do you choose to pull over and take down the signs?
There's probably just there's got to be like I wouldn't want to do it we choose some sort of not a gas station, but like pull in front of like a storefront that's not being used and just take off the signs there.
So just like a little back street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to make sure there's no
way.
camera on facing our way. We'll look for the camera.
Nice. Yeah, you can find a nice camera blind spot in front of a closed down. It looks like a little boutique tea shop.
Perfect.
All right, so you pull in there. Who's going to take the signs down?
I'll take one down.
I'll take the other one down.
All right, and you got it. It's going to take a little bit of fussing to get them off because you had to affix them so they look professional. So that's what the two of you are out there doing when two cars pull in to the street. One's a nice luxury sedan, and the other is one of those gigantic Hummer H3s.
I wonder who these could be.
Yeah, the H3 comes right up behind the back door of the van, and the other is trying to box you in.
Yeah.
Anybody doing anything?
Well, I am going to assume the form of a police officer, but
Okay.
I dress for success. Yes, 30.
Okay. So the car that pulls up in front, Cloissoné, you gonna try and start this and get out of the way or not?
I am. So I probably didn't turn off the engine. How far along in their procedure are the other two? Like, because when they start barreling in, I probably lean my head out the window like, we need to go now.
Yeah, so I would try to run and get back in the back of the van. And
All right. Give me an athletics roll for the two who are doing the thing.
That is a beautiful 95.
oh wow, I think I just got. I'm pretty sure my athletics is 60 here, and I rolled a 58.
Okay. So Jesse leaps in with panther-like grace, and Dr. A, tries to go to the back door and kind of slips and twists an ankle a little bit on the curb. So Cloissoné, you now have to make a decision without consulting anybody, which is you can either wait for Dr. A and not have any chance to avoid getting boxed in, or you can slam on the gas, have probably a pretty good chance of getting away, but you will be abandoning Dr. Coolbard behind you.
What are the odds? I'm guessing this third option isn't going to work, but is there any way that I can move forward such that I am not boxed in? I'm guessing at that point, though, I'd probably get T-boned, would be my guess.
Or it would certainly be an option they would have, would be to T-bone you. The question is, does the person who is driving the nice luxury sedan really want to wreck their car smashing you?
The advantage of driving a piece of shit.
So I'm going to try to pull forward to give Angel another chance, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stay on the scene, but try to pull forward enough so I'm not totally boxed in.
Okay, so you're going to try and move it forward at like a slow running pace.
It's probably like I slam on the accelerator and then slam on the brake.
Okay.
She's probably kind of panicked at this point.
Give me that pursuit roll. She really is an excellent driver.
I told you. I'm so proud of my girl.
Though. Hang on a second. Let me see if I got a passion that'll help.
Kim's like, you never leave a man behind.
So I know that these people aren't official.
Yeah, you may just have to suck up that failure.
Okay.
So yeah, you jerk forward like 3 feet, but the sedan gets in front of you.
Okay.
Let's see, how's this going to play out? And the H3 is coming up behind. The door opens, and did Angel see Man steal? He did.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, this big old dude gets out of the H3, looks at you and says, just give us the head.
I'm going to be jumping out of my side of the van to try to grab Dr. A.
Okay. And are you carrying the rifle?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Not aiming up, but,
But you've got
so
it.
I can easily do it, yeah.
Okay. So, all right, you jump out. Dr. A has caught up to the back of the van, but the van can't go anywhere now. So you're out on the passenger side. Dr. A is in the back. Are you going to jump into the van?
I am going to... if my medicine bag is close to the door, I'm just going to grab that. Otherwise, I'll jump in.
I'm going to try and bring him in.
I don't think it's close because we're moving the head in there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So
okay,
yeah, I'll jump in then.
So Jesse's pulling you into the van, and okay. So Kim's out. You're in the back of the van in cop form. What are you doing? I'm pointing at Karen. Don't know why you'd be able to tell that.
Okay, well, the man steal is approaching, and
he's standing behind. He's got the door open, but he's standing so that the door is in front of his torso, and you can't see his hands.
Okay. Show me your hands.
You're
under arrest.
And aiming it?
I'm going to follow the police procedure of wherever the fuck this place was. So yeah.
Okay.
Where do I have the police uniform from, by the way? Just out of...
Ohio.
Okay.
I really hate speeders in Ohio.
So you're pointing the gun at him and yelling, "Show me your hands, show me your fucking hands."
Yeah, possibly with something about being police, but you know, that's a...
Okay. Hey, really, you really don't want to escalate this. Just give us the head and we'll be out of your way. Or we could just call the cops and tell them you got it. And at this point, you hear flute music from the sedan.
Well...
Yeah, Cloissoné, you have a good view at the sedan, and you can see confusing movements happening in the front seat. And then a moment later, the door opens and Count Volpo jumps out naked, except he's got like this filthy, furry thing tied around his neck and one arm. And he jumps out on all fours and puts his head up and goes,
I'm gonna like turn with the gun.
Okay, so you're stepping around to cover Volpo. Yeah, that seems...
It seems like Dr. A's in the van, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. And Mansteel's like, this does not have to... Nobody has to die here tonight, but...
Absolutely. You can turn around and go.
I don't think that's an option.
Why do you think it's an option for us to give you the head?
We really want it.
Well, you didn't do it, so we...
You didn't want it enough.
Want it that much.
And you catch something moving out in the dark, out because you pulled up under the broken street lamp, of course, right?
Yeah.
So you see something moving, and Kim, you see something moving, and Jesse, you're in the van, so you can't see anything moving. Are you getting ready to rumble in any fashion, or what are you thinking to do? Cloissoné, you can see a couple things moving, but they're out in the shadows and they are very, very dark.
Do I have a sense of their size?
About like a pit bull.
Okay. Then I'm just going to stay white-knuckled on the van waiting for something to change.
And, okay, so you're having a stare down with Volpo, Kim. And he kind of tilts his head to this. He's making these very weird animalistic move. And again, stark naked. Boy, he's a hairy guy. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of starts loping around the side of the van, like he's going to go around to the back of it on the driver's side. You're on the passenger's side.
Okay.
You going to move back there?
I'm going to go around my side to the back of the van.
Okay, so the two of you are moving pretty much in parallel towards the back of the van.
And I'm going to be, at the same time, Nicole, what's with the thing he's wearing?
What thing's he wearing?
Yeah,
I'll assume he'll soon be on her side.
He's wearing like a fur stole.
It looks very raggedy and greasy.
It's
That's
like
not fashionable.
Yeah, you get around the back, and he pads around and is trying to climb up into the van. And you can, yeah, you don't know what the hell this is, but he looks mean. What you do?
I know what this is. This is doing Loup-Garou Couture wrong.
You open it up?
Given my fear of personal nakedness and the nearly naked man climbing towards me, yes, I shoot.
Okay, well, we went there.
All right. So yeah, he is gonna try and lunge forward and bite you.
01.
Wow.
No.
Well,
Okay then.
well, I guess that
escalated
that guy's not
quickly.
long for this world.
So he, wow.
Don't fuck
Yeah.
with the higher cops.
So Kim, from your perspective, you're getting around there saying, "Don't do it," and you see him rear up and midair just floop and falls back with, it's a fairly small hole, but there
Yeah.
a little bit of blood comes out.
Yep.
I'm
And-
probably just freezing because my fear is like gunshots, and I'm like, oh fuck, yeah.
Wait.
Wear
guess-
some goddamn clothes, man.
Like looking at Karen like, fuck.
Yeah, you can't. And Man-Steel yells something, and you can see these dark things getting closer. And
So,
he's yelling, "They killed Volpo, man! They killed Volpo!"
so that's probably around the time that I panic because a gunshot just went off.
Yeah.
And this has gone bad, and I don't want to go to jail. So
Yep.
I'm gonna start trying to like depress the accelerator and nose this thing forward to push the sedan out of the way.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to try to run out of the back of the van and head to the sedan if I can.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You get around there. You hear from inside the H3, "Don't just stand there, do something." And Man-Steel pulls out you know exactly the kind of gun that Man-Steel's got, right?
Oh yeah.
Big revolver. Kim, what are you doing? You have not panicked or anything. You are fully protagonized.
Mhm.
And he is pulling this gun out.
Is his car at the back of the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Where I am.
Yeah, you got a clear shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the shot.
All right, give me that roll.
Oh, 88.
Got anything that can buy you a reroll?
Maybe like my
No.
Oh, passion.
maybe my fear of gunshots or
No.
maybe.
You are aiming center mass, and as you're about to pull, you remember the guy that you thought was wearing black but was actually wearing blue, and you just can't do it. And at the last minute, your hands, it's like you don't even have control of them. They jerk upward, and you pull the trigger once, and then your hand locks, and you cannot make it release the trigger so that you can take another shot. You are having some kind of experience that your body is not obeying you. As you're coming around, you see the door open, and this dark figure just flies out of the sedan. Not flies literally, but moving fast. And is clutching a flute in one hand.
How close are they to us?
Pretty close.
Okay, I can't kind of get my hands to grip. Like, can I hit them with the end of my
Oh
rifle?
yeah, you were trained in McNapp, the Marine art of butt-stocking people extremely effectively. So yeah, give me that Marine roll. It substitutes for struggle, right?
Yeah. 58.
Okay. So as the darkness is running by, you just pow. And 58. So that's... Yeah, that's an extremely solid hit. Yeah, kind of you get it so that you're coming forward as they're running at you. So it's almost like a clothesline effect. It's not right in the face, but it's probably the collarbone. And they sort of spin around and half slump and backs up, holding the hands up, saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa."
I'm gonna try to like cover my like freaking out, like find a kind of grip and like point it at them,
What are you
confidently.
going to tell them to do?
Probably nothing. Probably just point at them.
Tell them to get down on the ground or
Like,
kneel or something like that.
But no suggestions.
Sorry.
Kim is just.
yeah,
right.
just point them.
You've-
To
Jesse has run up to the car. The car is there with the keys in the ignition, and it's empty, and both doors open.
Well, I'm going to get into the driver's seat, and I'm going to drive away.
Okay. Cloissoné, it's now open in front of you.
Okay. I'm going to. Is everybody except Jesse in the van?
No. Kim is outside.
Kim's out. Okay. Well, so I'll pull forward some, trying to thread that gap while there's the scrum, but I'm not pulling all the way away in the hopes that everybody can come and catch up.
And yeah, Mansteel had gotten his gun out, hadn't he?
Yep.
Call it evens or odds.
Evens.
Evens. He can't bring himself to shoot Kim. Or shoot at Kim. We don't know how well this guy shoots.
Yeah.
Well, if I've still got a line on him from the back, I'm not going to shoot him, but I am going to say, do not fuck with us.
You could order him to drop it. Your police uniform includes an officer's cap. So you could command him to drop the gun.
Yeah. Drop the gun.
All right.
Get down on the ground right now.
One command.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, drop the gun then. That's, yeah. Do you want to roll for it, or is that just
No, you
covered?
roll for it. Okay.
73. So
37.
37.
All right, and he's got a violence check equal to the. All right, so he's either got to face a violence check or do what you say, and you see him almost do it, and then he glances over at the passenger seat, and then he aims at you and pulls the trigger. Because he felt you trying to command him. All right, let's find them. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Bullet slams into you. You fly back. Kim, you hear another gunshot. The darkness just visibly flinches and goes completely prone. The van is starting to move. The door's still open. What are you doing?
I'm gonna jump into the van and.
All right.
What's going on in the van?
You're in the van. Karen, what are you doing? Angel, what are you doing?
Well, as soon as Karen was hit, I am grabbing my bag and moving over there so that I can treat the wound.
Okay. The back doors are like flapping open.
Not my concern. That's somebody else's concern.
Yeah. I'm going to try and sit up and just take a parting shot, mostly to keep his head down, because he could still fuck with us with that gun.
Let's see if you get another @1.
Yeah, that would be.
That'd be amazing.
No, I get 0.7.
Okay. Yeah. So you hit him. If you were aiming for him, you hit him.
Yeah.
Okay, and he screams and falls.
Don't fuck with us. I will find you. I will find you.
Wow. I'm shouting because there's probably enough chaos that I don't quite know who all's in, so I'm shouting out the window, "Get in the van now!"
All right. Okay, and you slam the door shut, and you peel off. Well, it doesn't really peel. The van's not that fast, but yeah, you're heading on down the road.
I'm trying to close the back of the van doors. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to climb into the back to do that, but that's okay. So
I thought I was already in. Sorry.
I thought you jumped in the passenger side.
No, the back. Sorry.
Oh, you climbed at the back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So you got to kind of climb over Karen and Angel, but you can get that shot.
And a 600-pound rock.
And a 600, but it's not but it's not large. It's just bulky.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, you get over that. Y'all are pulling out. Boy, there's a lot of blood everywhere. To the in the experience of everyone except for Angel. Angel's like, no, that was a clean through and through. So Yeah.
Oh, my. This isn't...
It got you, it threaded your bicep and is probably embedded somewhere in a piece of band frame.
I'm not going to be doing field surgery.
No, just first aid.
I'm mostly just like stopping the bleeding, and
Yeah.
I probably have some analgesics that can take the edge off at the very least.
All right. So yeah, you guys, give me that medical roll, but we're gonna shift up into narrative space here. Y'all managed to get away, except as you're right at the darkest point between two street lamps, something comes up on the hood. You hit it, and it flies off. But are you familiar with Vanta Black?
Yeah.
Paint that absorbs,
yeah.
more light. The blackest black, it's that color. It's sucking light in. And it's, again, the size of a large dog, but clearly more insectile or lobster-like in shape. But you clipped it with a car. So you don't think it's coming after you. You drive off to find the brightest lit place that you can. Although, how hardened is Cloissoné to the unnatural? Oh, just 2.
Yeah, not a lot.
Give me that check. Let's see if you freak out.
Are you ready for the results of this medical roll?
Yeah. How'd you do?
I rolled a 67 and decided that was going to use my noble healing body and spirit to re-roll that. 0-1.
Oh,
okay.
No, I guess that wasn't that bad after all.
Yeah, no, you Karen matters to you.
Well, yeah, Karen's my favorite.
So yeah, you're really, everything narrows down to a single point, but it's not dramatic or emotional. It's a matter of, I know these procedures, I know what's happened, I know what needs to happen, and you proceed in this, you'd call it a flow state, where you're not mentally critiquing your own work, you're just automatically doing the right thing. It's pretty cool. You're like, that's a nice bit of search. That's a nice bit of first aid right there.
Turns out I can actually get this bullet out of here.
It didn't stay in, so that's nice. It's nice that it was not the most severe of gunshot wounds. Her arm is going to be messed up for a while. It went right through the bicep muscle.
Well, the good news is there's no death penalty in Canada.
And, the other good news is that it missed the big artery under here. So, as gunshot wounds go...
I blew my unnatural check, but I know that I need to stay calm for my mother. Can I invoke family ties?
Sure. I'll allow it.
I will try to re-roll this then, because a flip-flop wouldn't do it either. And I'm actually not sure. I don't think I got it the second time. Nope, I just got it. 45 out of 45.
Wow. Okay, so you're like, Mom needs me. And even if she wasn't always there for me, I'm going to be there for her. All right. And you guys get away. You find another place to stop and probably very nervously ditch the luxury. Man, that's a nice car. It's like got the leather seats and everything.
But it's a car of a dead man, and I don't need that kind of heat.
Yeah. Give me a burglary roll.
Glove compartment.
I will check for the glove compartment, though. Yeah. Well, I'll certainly look for any kind of stuff here, cash, that kind of thing, that this guy might have had. And my burglary roll is 11.
Okay, so yeah, you probably have gloves on. You're just like, you don't even remember putting them on. You're just like, oh right, because that's the thing you do with crime.
Yeah. Gloves, I play a lot of other games, vampire games, and I usually call it poor man's obfuscate, putting on a balaclava.
Yeah, let me find what Count Volpo's real name is. His real name, I think it's Darren. Darren Hordern. He's from New Mexico. And yeah, so
I'll take any kind of stuff like his identification and that thing. He might have to go. He's some sort of duke. So he might have other stuff we can rob from his house.
So yeah, you take some documentation from the car and then wipe everything down and shake out the the mat on the floor. But yeah, you weren't in there that long. Can dump it at a Tim Hortons and get in the van where Kim is like, I can't believe there's blood all over so much of what I own.
A bit of cleaning. But
it's gonna take a lot of cleaning.
We're going to lay low for a month anyway, so.
Well, I'll definitely help clean this all up. Just give me a moment.
And maybe another one of those pills.
Yes, they are rather Moorish.
I'm feeling grateful for how neat my stuff is. Probably all packed and organized, apart from a few things I was using. So
you guys got away clean. You you escaped the Oppo, and got away with the head. You stick it in there and cool it out for a while, and
drop it off at a green box storage unit.
Yeah. So okay, and that's what I've got. You have overcome the challenges and successfully stolen the head of the Count Saint-Germain.
Cool.
So, thank you. I hope you had a good time.
I did.
Yes,
That was great.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
All right, and don't forget to fill out the form so that we can see who moves on. Woo!
Yeah.
That was a treat, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice meeting you all.
Yep, nice
Have a good
meeting you.
evening.
You guys,
Nice meeting you.
hopefully
It
we'll
was a
see you
fun
later
game.
in the tournament.
Aye.